You know, Nick and I travel around the country, even around the world. We do consumer events for SVS, other consumer events at retailers. We do audio shows, other trade shows. And actually, you give us a lot of feedback about these videos. And the thing that I always hear, or often hear, is how passionate we are and how it comes through in the videos. So I thought I would frame up our introduction of 3000 Revolution subwoofers with what makes us passionate. And we are at SVS passionate about bringing reference, awesome audio experiences to more people by bringing technology that just has never been available anywhere near the price ranges where we live to people that maybe otherwise wouldn't have had access. And 3000 Revolution absolutely is an exciting new addition to that vision, to that way of going about building the SVS brand and bringing it to you all. Nick, what do you think?
You know, and as I was thinking about this video, you know, it got me really thinking about what drives that passion. And, you know, we talk about us being a restless company, this idea of never just, you know, resting on our laurels or, you know, this lineup of products won so many awards. Like, why don't we just carry that over and maintain what we've done with that?
It's tempting because business owners like to do that. Business owners like to say, okay, this did great. Let's milk it as long as we can. That is not who we are.
No, and I think especially with this notion of a revolution series, you know, we want to take not just, you know, cosmetic changes or things like that. We really want to reimagine what's possible, both in terms of, you know, in their class, but also the user experience, like what they're going to get out of, you know, having this product, in this case, the 3000 Revolution subwoofers. And I think people are going to be pretty surprised by how much engineering and design went into it.
I do want to kind of talk about the nomenclature, because when we did go to our previous gen was the Pro series, which we did. And is still in effect for 2000 Pro and 1000 Pro. And that was a really awesome technology platform. But I think people felt like, oh, this is probably just a souped up version of the old model. And so I feel like that's a little bit deflating. So I really want everyone to walk away from this video understanding one really important thing, which is that the Revolution series platform is a complete reimagining of subwoofer technology. And in fact, I say this to people all the time, and I believe it in my heart of hearts, this is technology that has never been in a consumer subwoofer. It was not as shocking when we did 17 Ultra Revolution. It was a little bit more shocking when we did 5000 Revolution. But at the price ranges where 3000 Revolution is launching, it's completely groundbreaking, and it is nothing like what it is replacing. It is a total reimagining. Smith, we're making the case that the Revolution technology platform is literally the most technology, or the highest level of technology ever been put in a consumer subwoofer. Can you kind of help us understand what that means?
I would say it starts from the DSP. We have basically the most cutting edge, highest horsepower DSP that we could package into a subwoofer amplifier.
Almost 300 megahertz analog devices DSP. That's like what they put in a full-on home theater processor, right?
And that DSP unlocks all levels of features and functionality and capability. In particular, it allows us to manage and optimize an even higher power supply and amplifier.
And the new amplifier is 50% more powerful than what it's replacing.
That's right.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, this new amplifier.
1200 watts of continuous power?
Yeah, and 4000 watts of peak power.
Wow.
And so that marriage of a really high performance, high capability DSP and allows us to bring in a new power supply and amplifier. And then that inspired an all-new redesign of the driver.
So this is a very complex ecosystem, and it results in a level of performance We've never seen anywhere near this price range. And also, I don't want to underrate the cabinet volume, although this is not a tiny subwoofer, it will fit pretty much anywhere.
Yeah. What you're saying is totally true. It's kind of this circular discussion that has to happen between the DSP and the amplifier and the power supply and the driver and the system. And so all these things have to kind of be balanced and worked out together as an ecosystem.
So not to diss anyone else who makes subwoofers, but since most subwoofers don't even use DSP, this level of performance just would not be possible. Is that fair to say, or am I being too harsh?
You're not being too harsh.
Okay. All right, let's get specific. So 1,200 watts of continuous power, more than 4,000 watts of peak power, almost 300 megahertz analog devices DSP, a very sophisticated power supply to be able to deliver on this power. And then can you, without getting too in the weeds, can you help us understand the 13-inch driver that we have used? Did you make changes to that driver?
This is actually a total re-envisioning of this driver. So
okay.
The split wind voice coil, it's kind of the darling of voice coils in my opinion. It's one of my favorite ways of developing a voice coil for a driver. Basically, it's a ground up new design. So it's a new split wind voice coil, it's a new former, it's a new suspension, it's a new motor system that's all been re-engineered for this higher power that's coming from the new amplifier.
So without explaining what all those different parts are, I think the outcome is that the driver is fully capable of delivering on the power of the amplifier. It never gets overpowered by the amplifier.
Right.
And for that reason, we have low frequency extension that we were not able to accomplish with the previous model, and low frequency extension that maybe has never been accomplished anywhere near this price range. And yet also sheer output.
That's right. Yeah, it plays lower, it plays louder, and it plays cleaner.
Mm-hmm. It's an extremely sophisticated execution, and I've always enjoyed listening to that with both exciting, movies like Larry does, those demos, but also the kind of music that I listen to, for example, jazz or other music that really requires a nuanced delivery. This driver really does that from what I've been experiencing.
Yeah, it's altogether a well-balanced system that's great for every kind of content, but particularly it's a very musical driver.
Now, we know people are going to not want to watch a super long video, so I just want to make sure that we talk about a couple of the other benefits of the DSP. Because the DSP is so sophisticated, everyone loves the SVS subwoofer control app. Mm-hmm. Now it has even more features, including first ever SVS auto EQ, and it works amazingly well. So that will all be a part of the 3000 Revolution series. I have to say this has been kind of a fun video to make with you, because I don't want to call it a victory lap, but this was a big challenge. The price ranges the 3000 Revolution lives in. And we said to ourselves we didn't want to make the cabinet bigger, which makes it easier to deliver that low frequency extension and output. And you did it, and you should feel really great about it. But what I feel great about is what we started this conversation with, is our passion to bring reference experiences to more people, to keep pushing the envelope of what's possible in different price ranges. I really am proud of 3000 Revolution series subwoofers because they do just that. I hope you enjoy them.